The Nerd Initiative presents the Comic Press Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Comic Press Podcast. My name is Jeremy. I am your host, as always, and I've got a very special guest today. Normally, we have a comic book discussion. This is still along those lines, but it's a little bit different. We're talking about something that's almost unheard of in the comic book convention community specifically, and that's a free convention. And here to talk about this amazing thing in the community is the executive director of Cartoon Crossroads Columbus. I want to make sure I say it properly. Jay Kalagayan. Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
That is correct. Well done.
Awesome. I got everything right. How's it going, man?
It's good. No, thanks for having us on.
For sure. So before we get into the convention specifically, you and I have already spoken once. I interviewed you at Gem City Comic Con, and that was awesome, but it was also a little hectic because we were trying to do it quick. Convention was starting up. So one thing I didn't get to really ask you while we were there was your nerd origin story. How did you get into cartoons, comic books? If it was, I've had people tell me it was manga they were into first, or Power Rangers, or, you know, whatever the case may be. What got you into this whole scene?
My brother was 10 years older than me, and we weren't able to spend a lot of time together. He was in high school driving. I was a kid. And I think he took it upon himself just to take moments to spend time with me. So he, we go to Tasty Freeze. For certain people in the audience, they're like, Tasty Freeze. So like an ice cream place, get a cone, get a slushie. And then one time he took me to the gas station. It was called Lawson's. And in the corner was a spinner rack. It was the spinner rack. And it was a spinner rack of comic books. And so he bought me my first comic book. And it was Avengers. It was Wrath of the Weatherman. And they had the entire cast of the Avengers in there. And it was terrific. And it's changed my world.
So was it like superheroes specifically that like kind of kept you locked in? Or was there like a specific storyline or anything like that?
I went from there and just collected as many comics as I could. I did enjoy my Archie, Betty and Veronica's, but I really did like the superhero genre. It was the Avengers, and then of course the soap opera that is the X-Men, that kind of thing. And
I don't even know if you can call it a soap opera anymore. It's more like its own epic at this point.
I know. Well, that's when there was just one X-Men comic, just one a month,
not 12 a week.
Yeah. So, but it was kind of expanding my mind. It was a little bit mixture of escape, but also just like people who ethically try to do the right things. Sometimes they'd fail, sometimes, but they were trying to do the right thing. So it was good. There were good examples, which was a great opportunity. And this is the days, I might not look it, but I am older. So these were the days of 4 channels on television. There were only 4 channels. There was only radio. There was no internet. So I think we just got a computer, a Tandy. So like comics were just the way to just discover new worlds.
And then was there like a specific character that you really, really gravitated towards, or did you like really stick with those team up books like you liked seeing like the massive like fight scenes and stuff?
You gotta love a Neil Adams Batman. You gotta love that, mainly because the Batman I was seeing was that 1960s, like the corny ones. And when I was a kid, I didn't want that corny Batman. When I was a kid, I wanted that dark, brooding,
right,
hard, and beautifully drawn by Neil Adams. Great stories, Denny O'Neil. So I did love my Batman, my Moon Knights, that vigilante, brooding loner kind of thing. I was a small town life. I grew up in a small town outside of Erie, Pennsylvania. So one stoplight kind of town. So yeah, comics were that gateway. Comics was that escape.
Did you have a lot of like comic shops near you, or was that like kind of a struggle? Did you guys have to drive out of town a little ways to go and like
Half hour
Comic Con?
away, a store called Books Galore in Erie, Pennsylvania. And I walked in and it was like, I mean, it was like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I swear. It was like
Right.
long boxes in the corners and oh my gosh, and just all the stories. And I think that people that grew up reading comic books, if you're lucky, you can get to the store on a regular basis, but you miss issues. You miss a back issue or two or that kind of thing, and you're just used to having holes in your head for certain storylines, and then like you go to these comic book stores and you get to fill in the gaps of those stories. I mean, there's just something about that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love going in there for like a couple hours and just kind of thumbing through old long boxes, even the dollar bins, because you never know
Oh,
what you're gonna find shoved in there.
absolutely, absolutely.
So let's get into the whole reason that you actually came on the show today. And that is Cartoon Crossroads Columbus. Tell everybody like a quick breakdown of what this is, where it is, and kind of what it's all about. And then we'll kind of go more into the details of everything.
So, Cartoon Crossroads Columbus is a free comics, art, and animation festival in the capital of comics and cartoons, Columbus, Ohio. It goes from September 27th to October 1st. It has 4 full days of just teaching talks, creator spotlights, and just great opportunities to meet artists, discover fresh stories, and get inspired.
Yeah, no, I mean, when you described everything to me at Gem City, I was like, this sounds really cool because it's not just comic books either. It's you're covering cartoons, you're covering comic strips from newspapers, you're covering I mean, everything.
One of our board members said that comics is not a genre. Comics is a medium, and in that medium, there are numerous genres. And what I like about Cartoon Crossroads Columbus, or CXC, is it covers the spectrum of what comics can be. I didn't know what the term graphic medicine was, but it's like comics about health. It's comics about anatomy. You know what I mean? It's like,
See,
so
that's a new term
like,
I just
like,
learned.
like that idea. And because of our partnerships with the Billy Ireland Cartoon Library and Museum, we have a lot of cartoon strips. So like your Sunday morning cartoon strip, or your Sunday morning or your daily cartoon strips. We have a lot of those kind of artists participate as special guests as well. So it really just covers that spectrum of what comics can do as a storytelling medium.
Yeah, because the way you described it to me, it's not just like, I mean, it's definitely a convention for fans to come and just check stuff out and buy stuff like
Absolutely.
normal, but it's also kind of an educational experience for a lot of people.
Yeah, so the first 2 days, that Thursday and Friday, we have
Excuse
a
me.
lot of teaching talks at the Billy Ireland Cartoon Library and Museum and at the Wexner Center for the Arts. So basically OSU's campus. So there's a lot of teaching talks during the day and programming in the evening. And then Saturday and Sunday, we head kind of downtown Columbus to the main library, and we have an expo with 100 plus creators. There was probably about 8,000 attendees that came to the library on Saturday and Sunday. On Saturday night, we're at CCAD, and we're bringing in a manga creator, Keitugaku, who's going to speak at CCAD, which is the Columbus College of Art and Design. And then on or Sunday morning, we go to
I'll say
the.
we've also got Nicole Go on here, but
Oh, I know, she's
that's
so good.
keto right here.
Yeah, and then on Sunday morning we have Reagan Buchanan talking to Ben Passmore, and that's at the Columbus Museum of Art. So we really hit all of the iconic institutions, a good number of iconic institutions in Columbus, which really shows that my favorite metaphor is Voltron. So CXC is kind of like mighty robots coming together to form one mega super robot, and that is CXC. I mean, we got a lot of great partners. We've got the Billy Ireland Cartoon Library and Museum, the Wexner Center for the Arts, Columbus College of Art and Design, CCAD, Columbus Museum of Art, the Columbus Metropolitan Library, Laughing Ogre, And
Oh, I
Gateway
love that
Film.
shop. Those guys are
Oh,
so awesome over there.
love that. Gib is the best. Gateway Film Center and Pop Culture Studies at Ohio State University. So imagine all of them coming together, sharing space, sharing their budgets, bringing in the guests they would want to bring in. CXC brings in a number of guests to kind of fill in the gaps and really show that spectrum of comics and cartoons as a medium, and really has 4 full days of programming, like 50 hours of programming. My God.
Oh, I know. I've been looking over the schedule. It's insane. I know I'm going to be there covering it as press, and I'm like, whoo, there's a lot.
Well, what's really nice is, so we have a great track as far as the storytelling. There's a couple of programs that just I don't know, they're a little bit of a deeper dive. There's
Mhm.
one of my favorite ones I really want to see is called Punk and Comics, and you got Reagan
Oh,
Buchanan
that looks like
there.
so fun.
You got Reagan Buchanan, you got Shelley Bond, we got Durf, you got Nate Powell, and they're talking about punk rock and comics going back almost 50 years. So I mean, like, you don't hear about cool programs like that. You got John Jennings talking with Brian Moss about literary adaptations, and we also do a lot of teaching talks for not just regular attendees who are fans, but also for artists as well. So, like, for example, building your subscription base using Substack. We got Jason Chatfield coming in to talk about that. So, a lot of great opportunities and a lot of great spotlights.
So how did all this come together originally? I know you guys are what, 3 or 4 years old now.
Uh huh.
So how did you? I mean, this had to have been something that was like not easy to bring together at first.
So, our founders are Vijaya Iyer and Jeff Smith. They are with Cartoon Books, and then Lucy Caswell Shelton. She was the founder of the Billy Ireland Cartoon Library and Museum. They got together because Lucy Shelton Caswell was already doing, I think it was once every 2 years or once every 3 years, kind of a gathering at the Billy Ireland with a lot of great guests. But it was not, they weren't able to, they wanted to expand it. They wanted to see how it could grow. So they ended up turning it into a comic book art festival, kind of patterned after a lot of the European festivals, like in France or in England. So, like those kind of festivals where it kind of takes over the city, a lot of great different locations, and really putting the spotlight on the creators, whether they are artists, writers, editors, publishers, but really focusing on that. Now, I'm a huge fan of cosplay. I love meeting, Back to the Future celebrities and everything like that. And that's their model. This model
Mhm.
focuses on comic book, cartoon, and animators and those creations and those creators. Sorry.
Well, and that's one thing that's starting to go down at the bigger conventions. Like you go to like a C2E2, for example, and they've got great stuff there. I mean, that was an amazing convention. But you go over to Artist Alley and it's the smallest section of the entire convention.
Jeremy, you're not going to get me to commit to anything because I go to the Sensei Comic Expo. I can't wait to go to C2E2 sometime. I mean, it's just, yes, the model has evolved. The model has changed. And I think that's why, but there's a lot of room for a lot of different festivals. I've really enjoyed a lot of the anime festivals I've attended as well. So I think that it's almost a boutique specialized festivals that can kind of, you can, just like the internet, you can find your people.
Oh yeah, 100%. You build it and they will come, right?
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
so what made you guys decide to scatter this convention all over town rather than have it in like one big spot, like say Columbus Convention Center, like where all the big conventions go to?
Well, we really want to spotlight not just creators, but we also want to spotlight our partner organizations. I mean, we want to bring people to the Billy Ireland. They have
Right.
the largest collection of comics, art, graphic novels, and oh my gosh, I took a behind the scenes tour. Their manga creation or their manga collection is huge.
Really?
Going back. I'm going to say going back decades easily. So, like,
Wow.
to see that collection, and part of the Thursday, Friday programming are behind the scene tours at the Billy Ireland. So that's a great opportunity there. To go to the Wexner Arts Center, the Wexner Center for the Arts, and to see the latest exhibit, as well as checking out their space, is always just amazing. And I think people need to go to campus and see some of these iconic locations, and then to head downtown, downtown Columbus, and check out the CCAD, the Museum of Art, and the library. I mean, these are treasures. So I think it's great opportunity to kind of just show off all these other locations in Columbus.
Well, and for those of you who don't know, like I'm hometown, born and bred in Columbus, and there's a huge art scene here.
Mm-hmm.
For people that don't know, I mean, we've got the Columbus Academy for the Arts downtown. We've got like 3 or 4 different art museums. It's insane.
So yeah, we're building Columbus to be an international capital for comics and cartoons. We have so many resources. We have so many artists that are Columbus based who can live affordably in Columbus, but then work for any number of different companies around the world. So it's a great opportunity to kind of just have a critical mass of creativity right here in Columbus, Ohio. And everything is 2 hours away. Well, in Columbus, everything's 20 minutes away. If we're talking about other cities, I mean, there's so many cities just 2 hours away. So we're hoping at the bare minimum, we want the 3 C's. I want some Cleveland. I want some Cincinnati. One of the coolest deals is we're talking to a lot of special groups about coming up. We have Northern Kentucky University's animation department. They're talking about bringing a bus up because on Thursday, we have Brenda Chapman, one of the first female directors of a major animation film. Brenda Chapman, who directed Prince of Egypt and also worked on Brave. We are doing a screening of Prince of Egypt at the Wexner, and then we're going to have a Q&A with Brenda Chapman. So these are the kind of opportunities that you don't get at a lot of different festivals.
And Prince of Egypt is one of those movies that, like, even if you're not like a huge fan of the subject matter itself, you cannot deny how good that movie is.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. The music is so well done. It's one of those that you could point at like, that's a perfect movie. You're like
I was at a Comic-Con. I was at San Diego, and they had some of the creators of Batman the Animated Series, and they had a talk there, and they had some of the original creators, and there was only like 10 people in the room, and there were 3 Harley Quinns. So it was like, I was like, all right, what? I mean, I was like, I'm so excited, these people. I wish there was more people in that room. And I think that's one of the things we try and do is really just put that spotlight on and try and get as many special groups, small groups, that they're at least aware that CXC is going on, and hopefully they can organize an outing.
Well, and especially for like the indie community, like there's not a lot of outlets for the indie community here in Columbus as far as like affordable goes to showcase their stuff, and with you guys doing something like this, it gives a lot of creators a big opportunity to show their stuff over the course of, like you said, 4 whole days.
Yeah, we want to bring, I mean, we're definitely working it nationally, and we're really building that international appeal as far as artists coming, inviting special guests. And the main thing is connection, and really just other artists, Columbus-based artists, regional, national artists, networking, working together, and maybe forming collaborations and creating new work.
No, that's amazing, because so much out there right now is trying to outcompete everybody. I got to outdo the next person. I got to be better than this person. I got to put my stuff out faster than this person. And you guys are trying to make the community grow together rather than little bits and pieces of it getting big.
Absolutely.
So some of the guest highlights for this year, your guest list is insane. Go over some of the highlights while, like, I'll kind of cycle through some headshots that you guys provided me, and Explain who
did
some of
we
these people
coordinate this
are first.
ballet? Did we coordinate this ballet? I don't think so. I'm gonna
I
just
don't
go
think
through
we
the list.
did, but we'll do
Okay.
the best we can. All right. So how about put the picture up first and
Oh,
you
okay,
kind
okay.
of.
I'll do this. I'll do this. This is good. Keito Gaku. Keito Gaku is traveling from Japan. He is coming here. He is the artist, and the author of Boys Run the Riot, a really critically lauded manga about a transgender high school boy inspired by his own life. Keito Gaku is one of the few openly public trans manga creators. This will be his first appearance at a comics event in the United States. So we're really proud. And thanks to the Japan Foundation, Pop Culture Studies at OSU, CCAD, they were able to help sponsor and help bring in Keito Gaku. Nicole Gu, I am so excited that she is coming. She's a terrific artist, a lot of YA work, and I think she has some new work that she's bringing as well. So very excited
Oh,
about
that'll be cool.
So you're flipping. Oh, here we go. MS
Yeah.
Harkness. MS Harkness is Columbus based. She's a mover and shaker. Her artwork is just phenomenal, and her ability to tell her stories just kind of as a reader, it just kind of inspires you, it shocks you, and it just, I don't know, it just kind of makes you appreciate things you have in life. She's really well done. Janny Ho, we're bringing Janny in. She's helping us with our kids track on Saturday and Sunday. We have an entire track of just kids / all ages programming. So she's doing that. Terrific artist, really creative. And she has about, I think, 2, maybe 3 programs going on at the Weekend Expo.
Oh, that's awesome because there's not enough stuff for kids at conventions sometimes. So that's excellent.
Dennis Kitchen. I mean, come on. It's Dennis Kitchen. Kitchen Press. I mean, God. I mean, iconically, how many things has he produced? How many things has he published? But I've seen a couple of his books. His artwork is fantastic. So Dennis will be here. He's just, I would say, entrenched. I mean, he's a keystone foundation of the indie comic movement. John Jennings has been at CXC a couple times, especially through SoulCon. Prolific creator, does a ton of different work, and I think it's just great opportunities to see some of his stuff. He's been doing some Marvel work recently with Silver Surfer, just phenomenal.
Oh, nice. I was just saying, I knew the name sounded familiar, but I couldn't think of where I'd heard the name before. I'm like, that's where it was. When you read so much stuff, all the names start to kind of mix up a little bit.
So Chase Schulte is an archivist. He works for NBC Universal and DreamWorks, and he is going to be here. He's doing 2 sessions on that Thursday at the Wexner Center, and he's talking about preservation. And he'll show some archive things that you could see, and then and it's a great opportunity So he's going to talk about history of DreamWorks animation, and he's going to talk about animation restoration at Universal Studios. So he'll do 2 sessions. So honestly, if you're into animation, if you're an animator, this is class. You're going to come in and have class at the Wexner Center, and it'll be one of those good classes that you'll stay awake for
free. Want to keep emphasizing that for our listeners and viewers. This is a free convention.
Talk to your teachers and get that extra credit. That's what I'm saying.
There you go. Get that extra little college credit.
Learning is ongoing. All right. So Calvin Reed. Calvin Reed is a comics journalist. He at the end of his I don't want to say end of his career. That's terrible. But at the time, he was senior news editor at Publishers Weekly. And Calvin really put a spotlight on comics and graphic novels, really just doing reviews, moving them to the forefront, doing podcasts, just really putting that spotlight and kind of really being an ambassador, honestly, for comics and cartoons. So that's Calvin Reed. And Calvin Reed, our founding executive director, Tom Spurgeon, he passed away in 2019. We have an award, the Tom Spurgeon Award, for those who champions, our ambassadors of comics that aren't writers or artists, those that publish, those that do comics journalism. And this year, Calvin Reed is the winner of the Tom Spurgeon Award.
Oh, that's awesome. So next up, we've got.
I'm not talking about Durf. Durf is amazing. How can you? It's just like, oh yeah, have you not heard of Durf? I mean, I'm talking about Kent State, Fort Dayton, Ohio. I'm talking about my friend Dahmer. I mean, Durf is just amazing. He's out of Cleveland, and
he's been nominated for pretty much everything.
I know he's been nominated for everything. He is an ambassador for comics. He's an ambassador for Ohio, and Kent State came out during the pandemic, so this is one of your first chances to come see him and get your book signed. And I swear, Durf, he does drawings in the credit page, like when you're opening the book and it's like the credit page with the title. He'll do a drawing so detailed and so good. When he hands it to you, you actually think, wait, was this printed in the book when it was published? It's so good. So if you get a chance, get your books and have Durf sign it. If he has time, he'll do this drawing that's just phenomenal. Shelley Bond. So Shelley Bond is close to my heart in that she worked for Comico way back in the day at the beginning of her career, and worked with like Bill Willingham and Elementals and a bunch of, and worked a little bit with maybe Matt Wagner when he was doing Mage and Grendel and those kind of things. So like just, I didn't realize that generation she was part of. And then another generation, the Vertigo generation, she was an assistant editor and editor at Vertigo during, the Sandman times, Preacher, all those kind of things. And one of her titles was Fables. So
I love that series so
I
much.
know. So she's phenomenal. I took her filth and grammar class. That she was doing a Zoom class, and it was called Filth and Grammar, and she was just teaching people how she is a comics editor. So so Shelley's phenomenal. I can't wait to see her in person and buy all of her books because I read them as PDFs for class, but I need to buy them in person.
There you go. So next up.
So Reagan Buchanan, she is a Columbus-based artist, and I'm gonna say setting the world on fire. She's done really well. She has a comic book about punk rock, and she's everywhere. She was.
I was gonna say she's a name I've heard multiple times around Ohio.
Oh, and her book, The Secret History of Black Punk, is just phenomenal. I really enjoyed the read. So yeah, I can't wait to get her to autograph my book, and B, just see her interview. She's going to have a great spotlight at the Columbus Museum of Art.
Nice.
So, all right. Tahid Bundia. He does the cartoon Crabgrass. And Crabgrass is in the Dispatch, Columbus Dispatch. And he's one of the few people who is still making it as a cartoonist in the newspapers, because as you know, newspapers are shrinking, things are going down, and I think Bundia is still doing it. Tahid is still doing it. He's out of Kentucky, so he's gonna drive up, or I don't know if he's driving or flying, I forget. But anyway, so he's coming up out of Kentucky, and we're really excited to have him.
No, Crabgrass has been like a hit as far as I've been hearing. So that's awesome. You've got him coming. And we got a 3 for
you put 3 in a row. This is
the next one's 3 in a row as well.
Yeah,
that'll be
you
the
got
last
3 in a row, like
promise.
photo flip. You got photo flip. All right, Daniel Klaus. I mean, come on, Daniel Klaus. I mean, Harvey Eisner, Ignatz, and Penn America Literary Award winner, graphic novels. And let's throw in an Academy Award nominated screenwriter for Ghost World. I mean, like, come on, this isn't even. He's amazing, and he is going to have the book Monica. The book Monica will be available before it's in print. he'll have copies of that. So you'll get it
Oh,
before
nice.
available to the public. So great opportunity there.
Get your copies early.
Brenda Chapman, and kind of talked about Brenda Chapman before. I was talking about first female director, Prince of Egypt, first female director for a major animation film, going to do a Q&A at the Wexner Center. I mean, what a great opportunity. What an incredible opportunity. Jessica Campbell is a guest courtesy of the Columbus Museum Art. And I would feel like Jessica really does the line of exhibit art, but also like the underground comic scene. So she has a couple of great books, comic books that I've really enjoyed. So it's a nice mix. And I'm telling you, I get in line just like anybody else and get my autographs. I mean, I love getting my collection autographed. It's one of the pleasures I have doing this festival.
Well, I mean, if you're not a fan of it anymore, then it's you shouldn't be doing it anymore, right?
It's true. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then the last slide I'll torture you with.
This is the last slide? This is a lot of guests.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You guys got a stacked roster this year.
All right. So Chris Sprouse is Columbus based, but I mean, he's internationally known. I mean, the guy, he's done Legion of Superheroes, which Legionnaires, you know, it's close to my heart. Tom Strong, he did with Alan Moore. He's done a number of, he did. You know what's funny about Chris is I was looking at his list of work and I realized how many of his books, comic books I had when I was younger. So he had all of those. He did the adaptation for the Star Wars novel Splinter in the Mind's Eye for Dark Horse. He worked with Warren Ellis on the limited series Ocean. Just a lot of work. It's really impressive, and he's Columbus based, so we're really happy to have him. He's going to do a session on composition of a cover, and he's going to do it with Victor Dandridge moderating and just talking about his process and putting a cover together. So that's
cool. Cause I actually got a chance to meet him a couple of years ago on Free Comic Book Day. He was at Pack Rat Comics.
Oh, love Pack Rat. Love Pack Rat.
They do all kinds of cool stuff over there every year for that.
All right. So this is an up and coming creator. No one's ever heard of her. Her name is Raina Telgemeier. No one's ever heard. No, I'm just kidding. Come on.
I was going to say, you know, that little gold E on the cover of her book doesn't mean nothing.
No. And just recently, New York Times #1 bestseller. Just kidding. Okay. So, right. All right. Raina is prolific. I mean, Raina has transformed the industry. I think that Raina has brought an entire generation of new comic book readers to the fold. To try new things. I mean, we talk about, yes, manga, of course, but also just those YA novels. And Raina did 4 novels: Smile, Drama, Sisters, Ghosts, and Guts. Sorry, that's 5. And all #1 New York Times bestsellers. My daughters introduced, you know how you I feel like I introduce a lot of things to them, to different comic books, movies, that kind of thing. They introduced me to Raina's work, and
oh wow,
and I am completely and utterly grateful for that. They're just really well done, and I love how they classify it as YA, which I believe it translates to young adults, but honestly I think they're books for everybody. So Raina will be talking on Friday night at the Mershon on OSU's campus, Mershon Auditorium, and she will also be at the expo as well. And we're really excited to have her. She has an exhibit based on feelings, because one of the things she's really done well with all her books, and including the Babysitters series, she did 4 graphic novels for them. She's just able to convey a lot of different emotions with her artwork, with her characters and their facial expressions. So there's an entire exhibit about that at the Billy Ireland. So when you come, you can also check out that exhibit as well. All right. And Joe. So Joe Suffin, we're really happy to have Joe in. He's a comic book, he's a cartoonist, children's books, and he's going to do, he's doing an adaptation of Watership Down, We can't wait to see it. And he's going to have preview copies, which are just really just copies, but
Right.
before it's available to the public. So when I say discover fresh stories, I really mean discover fresh stories before anyone else gets to see them or even has an opportunity to buy them.
Yeah, so I mean, you guys have, yeah. See, we're back. We're still here. You guys have a stacked list of guests, man, and then
Thank you.
your
Thank you.
exhibitor list. If I were to try and get that down, we'd be here all night.
Okay, I cannot talk
You've
about every
yeah,
single one of
no,
them. My
because you
goodness.
got over 100 exhibitors, and that is so. I mean, for anybody thinking this is something like really small and tiny, it's not. I mean, it's local, but it's not small by any means. I mean,
No.
you can tell from the pictures. There's a hefty turnout.
Oh yeah, yeah. We had about 8,000 attend last year at the library. I think it was just so many people driven by curiosity. They wanted to try new things. They were seeking. They were either seeking an artist they already knew, or they were looking for something fresh. And I really appreciate that about our attendees.
Oh yeah, and especially with the smaller conventions, like those, you find people that are really passionate about what they're trying to, and they are looking for new stuff. Like they're looking for Artist Alley. Where are the indie guys? Where can I find, the LGBTQ books? Like where is all the stuff? Like
Exactly.
they actually want to see everything. They're not just there for, the Chris Evans autograph or the Star Wars panel or whatever. So with the event schedule you guys got, which is stacked and all over Columbus, what are some highlights you think people should really not miss?
I think the Brenda Chapman Prince of Egypt screening, that's worth seeing the film with new eyes. You know how when you don't see something for a long time and then you get to see it again, and then you get to meet the director. I think there's something special about that.
Oh, 100%.
Raina will be speaking at let's see, on Friday at, I'm gonna get the exact time. Dun, dun, dun. 5 o'clock. Sorry. So at 5 o'clock, there's kind of this 1, 2, 3 punch. I think that at 5 o'clock, Raina speaks at the Mershon, and that goes from 5 to 6. Then at 6 o'clock, come on over to the Billy Ireland to the lobby. We're doing our awards. There's food, drink, and we're doing our awards presentation for the Spurgeon Award, our Master Cartoonist Award, and our Transformative Work Award as well. Also a great opportunity to mix and mingle, hang out with different comic creators, meet different attendees. And then that's basically 6 to 8. And then at 8 o'clock, Daniel Klaus is going to be speaking a conversation with Daniel Klaus. And that's going to be great just to hear about his perspectives on different things, his history, how his creative process. I think it'll be that's a 1, 2, 3 punch of just good comics.
No, 100%. And what are you like really hoping people will take away from it if they're coming for the first time?
Honestly, if they're coming for the first time, I hope they get to meet creators, get in conversations, and then again, I'll say it, find fresh stories, get the books that you've loved and that's well read. I think Jeff Smith said that, our founder, Jeff Smith, that he does like when someone brings him a book to autograph and it is worn. It has been read like maybe 10 times.
He doesn't want the person that's like keeping it perfectly mint condition and in a box somewhere. And
he loves signing a book that is loved. And
that's
so
good though.
You get to meet those creators, but then you get to meet other creators, and get turned on to new things. And then honestly, I just want people to be inspired. And when I say be inspired, maybe you're not going to be a comic creator, but maybe some of the things you learned or maybe the things you were inspired by gives you a different perspective on things at your job, with your family. I want to enlighten people who come to that festival. We want to do those 3 E's. Obviously, we want to entertain. That's what we're here for. But like you said, there's a nice element of education. And then, if we do it right, little moments here and there, you might just get enlightened by coming to CXC.
And see, that's something you can't say about every convention. Some of them, you're just going to get all your money taken.
Yeah, but I love getting my comics,
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not knocking that by any means. I spend more money than most people at conventions, probably. But
my hardest is the half off trades, and my backpack gets really heavy. Like I
the
wasn't
first
planning
day
on
of Gem City,
getting
dude,
weight.
I swear my backpack probably weighed about 40 pounds by the time I got back to my Airbnb that night.
Oh, Gem City's a great balance. We're really happy that a show like that exists. And again, I think Ohio, Columbus is the capital of Ohio. Columbus is the capital of comics and cartoons. But the fact that I think Ohio is very strong when it comes to comic creators, but also just comic fans and collectors. I think it's a really strong state.
I think it's just a very creative state in general. I mean, you've got a crap load of music that comes out of here,
Yeah.
both local and major. You've got comic creators, you've got regular artists with like the gallery hop that goes on every year downtown. And I mean, it runs the gambit. We've even got small film studios downtown. So, I mean,
Oh yeah.
you name a creative field, there is a market that you can break into here in Columbus. Like we're
Yeah,
we're like
I think
the mini New York,
I think we're doing really well with our film commission. So with our tax breaks and stuff like that. So I would love if I'm starting to watch films, and I guess instead of a Georgia peach, I'd love to see an Ohio Buckeye. I don't know what it would be,
Yeah,
but I would
guess
love to
so,
see just a testament of the creativity and the hard work that Ohio has and representing in artists as well.
If I ever see the North Market in the background of a movie sometime, I'll be very happy.
Nice.
So before I let you go, because I know it's getting close to about an hour we've been on here.
Really? It goes fast.
It does. If time flies when you're having fun, man. So where can people find more info about cartoon, or I'm just going to say CXC because I always get tongue tied trying to say the full name. Where can people find more info?
Cartoon Crossroads Columbus.org. Cartoon Crossroads. Oh, QR code. Thank you.
So if you guys don't want to type it in, you can just scan that code right there with your phone, take a picture of it for later, whatever you want to do. This is a free convention, guys. How many free comic book conventions can you say you've ever been to?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that alone should be worth at least checking out.
I think it's worth, well, the funniest thing is once you see that schedule, one of the fun campaigns that we had was this artist came up to me and said, "Oh, I need to remember to take PTO time so I can come check out the Thursday and Friday programming." And I was like, so that is your PTO reminder to take those days off, to plan on coming in. And what's really nice about the Thursday, Friday, especially, is they're a lot more intimate as far as there's only one program at a time. There's about space for about 50 people in the to attend, and just some intimate talks, like really good teaching talks. So we got that balance with the evening programming at the Wexner and at the Mershon auditorium. So there's a lot of great activities. And then we haven't even put it officially out there all the after hours stuff. There's going to be a lot of fun places. We're going to be at Seventh Sun on Friday night, and the Walrus on Saturday night, and Pins on Sunday after hours. So a lot of great activities going on.
And like you say, you got stuff for kids going on. You've got stuff for the adults going on. Like, it's really something you can literally take the entire family to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So before we get out of here, I want to make sure everybody knows that tonight, for the first time ever, our brand new pro wrestling show, if you guys are pro wrestling fans, WWE, AEW, TNA, or Impact, whatever they're calling that these days, whatever your niche is for wrestling, they will be covering it Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tonight is episode 1. Fandoms. Next episode of that is going to be September 15th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The next episode of me here on the Comic Press is going to be September 22nd. We're going to be airing a interview with Nicole DeAndrea, one of the editors down at Scout Comics. And the next episode of Turn a Page is going to be September 19th. Also, new comic book day every week. Make sure you go to nerdinitiative.com/comic-books and get your new comic book day reviews from the team over at the Nerd Initiative bullpen. And that is every single new comic book day. My name is JJ. Jay, thank you for so much for coming on the show. It's been super fun. We're going to have to make this like an annual thing. Come on and plug the convention every year, because you're just a pleasure to talk to.
Thank you very much.
But as always, everybody, please be safe, be kind, and take it easy.